Hey, we want to talk quickly about discussions and discussion grading. So, for online courses, the heart and the soul of an online course should be discussions because you don't have a classroom, you aren't going to see your peers and your instructor. So, the back and forth communication of the discussion boards is where all of the activity for the classroom is going to happen. So this is kind of the classroom of the online environment. And your discussion grades for this course work a lot differently probably than you've seen before. So instead of just having to post a certain number of posts, we're going to base your grade on the quality of your post. And there'll be some quantity in as well, but we won't just measure how many posts you're reading and how many posts you are responding to. We want you to have quality responses and especially high quality posts for yourself. The first discussion that you will do is to introduce yourself, and this discussion is graded a little bit differently from all of the other graded chapter discussions because I'm asking you to do a little things a little differently. The primary purpose of this introductory discussion is not only to introduce yourself, but to orient yourself to the course and to find a group, because we're going to do group projects throughout the course and you'll want a really good group. So the very first element that's graded is how well you find a group. And that's determined by, did you actually post the morning of the very first day of class? And that means that you may need to prepare your post before class even starts. And so you might need to write up your post in Microsoft Word, and then you can just copy and paste it in the morning before you go to work if you have to work on the first day of class. And then also by the end of the first day of class, acquiring a group on that very first day. So you won't want to just post your introductory discussion, but you'll want to respond to a whole bunch of other people, and you'll want to, and that goes to the last category as well in your contributions, but you'll want to use that in order to find a group. And get the best group that you can, because that's just so important to your success in the course, is having a good group. And then the second element is time management. As you'll see in a different video, in order to succeed in the course, you'll want to be investing 20 hours each week. And I want you to get a sense of what 20 hours each week will be like. And so this will be easy if you have a flat schedule and do the same things every week for work and other things. And so you'll tell me exactly which days of the week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to do between 11 and 2, for instance. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to study between 7 and 9. Whatever you tell me, the list that you give for each week, the total should be at least 20 hours, and you should be very specific on which days. So don't just say, I'm going to study every day. If you do, just say, I'm going to study Sunday through Saturday, 7 days a week. Be very specific, because some people might mean every day to be Monday through Friday, so be very specific on which days that you mean. Also, another element is the group skills. So you're trying to find group members that are appropriate for you. And so in order to get full credit, I've highlighted in blue, by the way, how you can earn full credit. So hopefully everybody's wanting to earn full credit for these discussions. In order to earn full credit in the group skills, you need to provide, maybe kind of sell yourself like you would on a resume or a cover letter to a job. And this job is to work with a group to gather and analyze statistics. So think, hey, what kind of group skills can I talk about, and what evidence of group skills? So don't just say you have these skills. How do we know that you have these skills? So have you gone through a leadership course? Have you gone through a team building course or a team building activity? Do you work with teams at your job? And what kind of experience do you have? What kind of statistical experience? What kind of technology experience do you bring to the group? So all of these things would go into your group skills. And then last but not least, and this is common through all of the discussions, you're going to have an area for what's your contribution to the learning community. In other words, your interactions with all of the other students. And delivery, which is pretty much grammar. Also, writing in full and complete sentences and full paragraphs, having very professional levels of communication. And so here we're looking at, did this student frequently attempt to interact with other students, and did they provide specific feedback to those students and specific questions to those students that shows insightfully that they read the other person's post and have feedback for them? Is everything grammatically correct and not very many misspellings, correctly punctuated, correctly capitalized? The verbs match the nouns and all of the subjects at least, and all of that good stuff. So all of that will be looked at. For your deep dive discussions, so the intro discussions is just going to happen the once for the intro discussion thread. The deep dive discussions are going to happen 9 different times because we have 9 chapters. And in each of these discussions, I am going to look at the first 2 areas are pretty much 50% of your grade for discussions. And they're both really closely related to accuracy. How accurately and how precisely did you answer every single question in the topic? So often the topics will have several different bullet points that you'll want to cover thoroughly and answer thoroughly, and how thoroughly and insightfully and critical thinking what kind of critical thinking skills did you use? What kind of analysis and synthesis and evaluation? How well and how thoroughly and precisely did you answer every single aspect of the topic and show your knowledge of this area. The third area for the deep dive discussions would be timeliness. So posting on the very first day, making your first post by the due date in the syllabus, and I'll send out remind messages for those too. So if you get posted by that first day, you'll get full timeliness credit, which is really the easiest credit to earn. That's just saying that you're on time. And you get points for that. How awesome is that? And then one of the hardest to get absolutely full credit on is the contributions, because for deep dive discussions, you've got to give 3 very insightful, detailed responses to the first post of other students. And for the total full credit, you've got to provide at least one piece of advice that nobody else has said yet that would have improved the first post, improve the letter grade of the first post. So the accuracy, the critical thinking, the completeness of the first post. So, hey, you missed talking about this specific thing that was asked about, or hey, I see where you answered this question, but I believe that it really should be something else. So correcting someone gently and nicely will get you full credit for this area if that's part of your 3. You've done 3 total insightful responses, and one of those 3 gives advice. So that's the rubrics and how they work. I've pretty much emphasized how to earn the highest credit, but you can look at the whole rubric as well. And once I've graded discussions, after the discussion closes, you should be able to go to tasks and discussions in D2L and scroll down to that particular discussion, like the chapter 1 or the intro discussions, and click on the rubric, and you'll see how many points you earned in each category. And if I have specific feedback for maybe why you earned that level of points, I will put that in there as well inside the rubric. And then lastly, how to get that full credit on the accuracy and the critical thinking for your deep dives. The best way is to use your textbook. That should be your number one resource by far for both the discussions and the projects. Your textbook is going to be amazing because there's going to be so many terms that you'll need to describe, apply. And so look at your textbook, search. If you've got the Kindle version or the PDF version, you can just search for certain words. So, for instance, if you're looking for a simple random sample, you could just search your textbook for the simple random sample and find it, and then use that to determine how you're going to write up your post. The formula card, by the way, both the textbook and the formula card are in content near the very beginning of D2L content. The formula card you'll print out. It will be your number one resource for all the Newton quizzes and homework and for the exams. And your calculator will be your number two resource for all of those. But the textbook actually takes precedence for the discussions and the projects because they're going to be more focused on the actual terminology. And then the formula card has calculator shortcuts. And everything I do in this class, I recommend to do as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible, and something that would be the least likely to give you errors. So I recommend you look at the calculator column before you even try the formula column. So if there is a calculator way to do it by the calculator way. And as a matter of fact, a lot of your discussions will be describing in more detail than the calculator shortcuts. Please give me much, much more detail than the calculator shortcuts. How you would perform a particular calculator task. And there are actually videos that you can watch and before you post, and oh yes, this is how you do it. And so you can just describe that process. And so that's discussions. Good luck, and I look forward to hearing from you.